We are already done with the topic of basic introduction to cartilage. Not only that, we also saw what a typical cartilage looks like when observed under a microscope. We saw that cartilage contains cells, chondroblast, chondrocyte, and fibroblast cells. And there are collagen as well as yellow fibers present, which are produced by fibroblast cells. And these cells and fibers, they are present on a matrix. Now in this video, we are going to see the various types of cartilages that are found in human body. Now if you look at these various types of cartilages, you'll find that all these cartilages, they contain the same cells, and the way these cells are arranged in all these four cartilages is same. That is, they all contain chondroblast, chondrocyte, and fibroblast cells. And in all these cartilages, chondrocytes are found inside fluid-filled space called lacuna. Then where does the difference lie? The difference lies in the matrix and the fibers found on the matrix. So, on the basis of composition of the matrix, fibers in human body has been majorly classified into four types. So there's your hyaline cartilage, there's your elastic cartilage, then fibrous cartilage, and finally calcified cartilage that we are going to deal with in this particular video. So let's look at the basic features of all these four types of cartilages and compare them. Number one, hyaline cartilage. Hyaline cartilage, when observed under a microscope, it gives off pearly white or bluish white coloration. That's the color of hyaline cartilage. Appearance, it is glass-like, semi-transparent. Now after hearing semi-transparent, you'll be wondering, wait, what? But isn't it transparent though? Now this can be a topic of debate, but what I want you to know, according to your syllabus, is that the cartilage, the hyaline cartilage itself is semi-transparent, but the matrix that is present in hyaline cartilage is transparent. Semi-transparent is also known as translucent. So don't confuse these two terms. Translucent or semi-transparent mean the same. So the cartilage is glass-like or semi-transparent. Then fibers. They contain both yellow fibers and collagen fibers. The yellow fibers or elastin fibers present are very thin. That's why they are not visible under a microscope. The collagen fibers that are present are of type 2. What's the significance of being type 2? Type 2 collagen fibers have the same refractive index as that of matrix present. So when seen under a microscope, you can't see collagen fiber, since collagen fiber and the matrix have the same refractive index. When two substances having the same refractive index are kept together, for example, there's a glass filled with water, and then you put a substance having refractive index same as that of water into that water, the substance is not going to be visible. Why? Because it has the same refractive index. That's why. Okay, elasticity. Look at my nose. Just the extent to which I can bend it. My nose is extremely, or your nose as well, is extremely flexible. Why? Because the cartilages found here are made up of hyaline cartilage. So hyaline cartilage is extremely flexible. Let me revise it. So hyaline cartilage color, it's pearly white or bluish white in color. Number one. Appearance, it is glass-like, semi-transparent. The cartilage, I repeat, the cartilage is semi-transparent. Number three, fibers. The fibers, yellow fibers are extremely thin, so not visible under a microscope. The refractive index of collagen fiber is same as that of refractive index of matrix, so not visible under a microscope. The matrix is transparent. The hyaline cartilage is semi-transparent. The matrix is transparent. And finally, elasticity. It is highly elastic. Now, let's look at the different places where you can find hyaline cartilage. Number one, at the end of long bones. I have already shown the structure of long bone in the topic of bone, which you can see in my previous video. Okay, so at the end of long bone, this is your long bone. at the two ends of long bone, you can find articular cartilage. Articular means brings about connection. So articular cartilage is that cartilage that brings about connection between what and what. So the end of one long bone is connected with the end of other long bone through this articular cartilage. So given the name articular, it's made up of hyaline cartilage. Number two, in your thoracic chamber, you have ribs, and these ribs are connected to your sternum or the breastbone, but they are not directly connected. They are connected through cartilage, and the cartilage present is hyaline cartilage, which is known as costal cartilage, where costa means ribs, and the cartilage found in ribs is costal cartilage. So the name. Number three is your nasal cartilage. Look at my nose. The cartilage is found in your nose. Here's your nasal bone, right? Just below the nasal bone, there are many cartilages. And all these cartilages, including the septum, including the middle barrier, including the septum, they are all hyaline in nature. Then, number four, C-shaped cartilage. In respiratory tract, the trachea as well as the bronchi formed when the trachea bifurcates, all is covered by C-shaped cartilage. What's their function there? So that trachea and bronchi, they don't collapse when air pressure is low inside of them. That's the use of C-shaped cartilage there, and that is also your hyaline cartilage. Next is larynx or the voice box. It contains nine cartilages in total, in which 3 are paired, so 3 2s are 6, and 3 are unpaired, 6 plus 3, 9. Out of 9 cartilages, 1, that is epiglottis, does not contain hyaline cartilage. The rest 8 of them, they contain hyaline cartilage. Then the endoskeleton of cartilaginous face or chondrocthes is also made up of hyaline cartilage. In vertebrate embryo as well, hyaline cartilage is found as the endoskeleton. And that's your hyaline cartilage. Then next is your elastic cartilage. Let's look at the diagram. So as you can see, the percentage or the quantity of yellow fiber or elastin fiber is way higher than collagen fibers. Since these elastin fibers, they provide elasticity, the name of the cartilage has been given elastic cartilage. There you go. Now let's look at the basic features. Number 1, color. It is yellow due to the presence of high quantity of yellow fibers. Number 2, appearance. It is opaque due to the presence of fibers that are visible. Number 3, your fibers, high percentage of yellow fibers are found. The way of remembering it, the name of the cartilage is elastic cartilage. That means it must have high quantity of elastin fibers. Duh. Then number 4, elasticity. Dude, it has elastic fibers in high quantity. Obviously, it's gonna be elastic. It is highly flexible. Now let's look at the places where elastic cartilage is found. Okay. Number 1, pinna, which is your external ear. This right here is pinna. And just look at how flexible it is, right? It is flexible because it contains elastic cartilage. Number 2, tip of nose. Your nose contains hyaline cartilage overall, except at the tip. The tip region, which is extremely bendable, only the tip region, that's made up of elastic cartilage. And then in your larynx, I mentioned out of the 9 cartilages, 8 cartilage, they are hyaline cartilage. The remaining one, which is epiglottis, is elastic cartilage. Why? Because while swallowing, the elastic cartilage or epiglottis needs to be able to bend so that the food does not enter the respiratory tract or the windpipe. The epiglottis that is found needs to be elastic so that it can bend and prevent the blockage of windpipe. Number 4 is your fibrous cartilage. Again, in the name itself, fibrous, because it contains large quantity of white fibers. These white fibers are found in bundles and they are unbranched. The color of this cartilage is shining white. I wonder why. Because they contain white fibers. and they give off shining white coloration. That's why. Second, appearance, obviously opaque due to the presence of visible fibers. Number 3, fibers, high percentage of white fibers. This does not mean that yellow fibers are not found, they are found, but compared to yellow fibers, white fibers are found in very high percentage. And number 4, elasticity. It contains high percentage of white fibers. White fibers provide tensile strength. So obviously it's not gonna be elastic. Instead, it is gonna be tough. So these type of cartilages are found in those places where the cartilage needs to be tough. And where are those places? Number 1. So there's your vertebral column, right? Or the backbone, which consists of bones which are known as vertebra. In between consecutive bones or in between consecutive vertebra, there's your intervertebral disc. What's the use there? When you jump, I'm not gonna jump right now because my knees are okay. So when you jump, a lot of jerk is sustained by your backbone, and that jerk can lead to a high extent of injury. And injury does not occur due to the presence of this intervertebral disc because they act as cushion and they absorb the shock. Number 2, in the pelvic region, right, there are bones. Among them, the bone that I've shown in red, that's your pubis. So the two pubis, they are connected to one another, forming an immovable joint and tightly fixed with one another. That is known as pubic symphysis. At the region of pubic symphysis, you can find fibrous cartilage as well. Finally, the 4th type of cartilage that you need to know is calcified cartilage. Again, the whole definition is given in the name itself. It's a calcified cartilage. That means there has been deposition of calcium. Calcified cartilage is nothing but hyaline cartilage once it gets deposited by calcium, or once calcium salts, or once it gets deposited by bone. Color white because it is deposited, or there's deposition of bone. Appearance opaque. Number 3, fibers, there are no fibers due to the deposition of calcium salts. The fibers, they are gone now. See you, tata, bye bye. And then number 4, elasticity. It's not elastic, obviously, because there has been deposition of bone, and bone is not supposed to be elastic, is it? But it is the toughest tissue out of the 4. Why? Due to the deposition of bone, due to the deposition of calcium salts. And occurrence, where is calcified cartilage found exactly? So in long bone, at the 2 ends, there's articular cartilage, right? These articular cartilages, they are also found in layers. And the first layer, which is in direct contact with epiphysis, that layer has been calcified due to deposition of calcium salts. And that particular layer contains calcified cartilage, as you can see in the diagram. And that's all for different types of cartilage. This is way more than enough for your CEE and NEET. And with that, bye!